We're here at Philadelphia Jazz Blog, and today we're going to be talking with a wonderful vocalist, a classy lady, and quite a personality in the jazz scene of Philadelphia today, Miss Pearl Williams. And Pearl, let's start off with just telling people, with such a long history, it's obvious that you made a decision in your life at some point to do jazz. When was that, and tell us the rest of the story.
Well, growing, I was reared in West Philadelphia. I was
Okay.
a West Philadelphia native,
Hmm.
and I come from a family of
Okay.
musicians. Uh, I had a brother that played tenor saxophone.
Okay.
I have a sister who was an organist, a very avid organist and minister of music for over 50 years at a Philadelphia church. I had another sister who played the cello and violin, and another sister who played piano, and myself.
That's
And
quite
my
a
mother,
musical heritage.
yes,
That's quite a
very much
musical
so.
heritage.
My mother wanted me to study classical piano,
Okay.
piano, and I did.
Okay.
But I always wanted to sing.
Okay.
And I wanted to be able to convey the feelings that I had inside, so that they
Okay.
would exude.
Did you do the choir at church and
Yes, I
all of
did.
that?
I sang in the choir at church. I also sang in the Glee Club. I sang in the All Philadelphia High School Chorus
Okay. From West Philadelphia
from
High?
West Philadelphia
The West
High.
Side.
That's
Okay.
right.
All
That's
right.
right. And melodically, I felt that I was very much endowed.
Okay.
It was something that I enjoyed, but I wanted to be an artist,
Okay.
somewhat in the popular field or jazz. I didn't listen. Pardon me. I didn't listen much to rock and roll, but that was the thing.
Okay.
But I liked classical music. I studied piano at Theodore Presser's. At that time, they were in Center City on Chestnut Street, and I also, under tutelage of Theodore Hurd, Napper Hester from
Okay.
the Mount Carmel Baptist Church, and several other renowned teachers.
Okay. So you could
But
actually back yourself.
well, no, I never learned the jazz chord. You know, my mother didn't have that. My mother said, "Look, we're not gonna have no saloon
Right.
singers or players in this
Devil's
family."
music.
That was it. That was the devil's music.
I
So
understand.
but I wanted to be a devil's child.
Okay.
So I remember one of my teachers had spoken to my parents and said, Pearl doesn't really want to play classical piano, and you are wasting your money. Why don't you give her voice lessons? My mother said, no, no, no. So, with me singing in the school choruses, I would still get my Victrola, that's what we called
Right.
the record player,
Okay.
Victrola. And I had several people that I liked. I always loved Sarah Vaughan.
Okay.
That was first and foremost.
That was my mother's favorite.
First
Sarah
and
Vaughan.
foremost. She was so mesmerizing. I believe there is none better than the sassy one. She
Okay.
could never be replaced. Many may emulate her, but she was one,
Gotcha.
just one,
And the mold was
and
broken.
the mold was broken. And I think every vocalist or vocal stylist had to admire her.
Right.
Hers was natural. She had a most unique range. Um, it
Who
was
else?
heavenly. It
Who?
was very heavenly. I tell you someone else I liked. Ima Suma.
Wow. I remember the name
When I
myself.
was
Not
in
really
school,
familiar with her music, but
yes, I saw her at the Academy of Music. She was a Hindu princess, Inca princess.
Okay.
And oh, she had such a beautiful range. Not only was she beautiful, but her soul within was so beautiful. And her voice was like a bell, uh, the highest in register and yet the lowest. You know, she was very, very unique. Just the way she breathed was an art.
Okay, and that was when this was happening for you. Were you in high school?
I was in, the first time I heard her, I was in junior high school.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to tell you
Right.
what year because you're trying
No,
to find
no,
out.
no. I was just noting the picture in the background behind you, and I wondered whether during that time period that's when you were being influenced.
Yes, this picture was shortly after graduation.
Okay. From
And
West Philly. Can't give another shout out. Okay.
Shout out. I first attended Girls High, Philadelphia School
Okay.
for Girls, and that was at 17th and Spring Garden Streets.
Wow.
Because I wanted to have an academic background, but
Okay.
then later I attended West Philadelphia High School, and then I graduated.
Did you attend school with many of the other Philadelphia musicians of the time? Did you go to school with certain people?
Several, yes. McCoy Tyner, for instance.
Okay.
McCoy and I were neighbors,
Okay.
and we were in the Glee Club together.
Oh,
We were in
fantastic.
a Glee Club together, and that was in junior high school
I didn't
and
know about
early
McCoy's
high
singing.
school. Yes, and I liked him. We
Okay.
used to perform for the Parkside YW and YMCA, which was at 43rd and Fairmouth Avenue. Mr. Harold White McCoo.
Okay.
And we would perform there, and as well as other places.
Okay.
But we decided to get a trio together, and McCoy was on piano, Joe Kearney,
Bass.
very, very excellent bassist, was on bass. Garvin Massoff, McCoy's friend, was on congas, and we had a little trio. Occasionally we would go in back of McCoy's mother's beauty shop, and we would rehearse.
Okay. That was in West Philadelphia
That
too?
was in West Philadelphia.
Okay.
McCoy's mother was a beautician. And Coltrane came whistling through town, and he heard McCoy, and just, he took flight. And that was the beginning.
That was the
of
beginning
something new.
of a great partnership.
Yes, of a great partnership. I also went to school with Harrison Ridley.
Oh.
Yes, we went to school together.
Mr. Jazz Historian.
Yes, Mr. Jazz Historian.
Yes.
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 Yes. And we've always remained friends. Recently, I was one of some others to acknowledge McCoy for the Philadelphia Welcomes McCoy Back Home.
Oh, right.
And
Was that Lifeline Music
yes,
Productions?
yes,
Right.
Warren
With Warren
Horry,
Horry.
Lifeline,
Right,
yes,
exactly.
yes it was.
I think that was very appropriate to have
Very
that
much so.
recognition.
And I was so glad to see him recognized. I wish there had been more people who would have supported it and come out. I think it should have been crowded.
Right.
But there's something about the way Philadelphians support jazz that's really sad. Because
It's
you
historical.
have a lot of talent here. You don't realize how many accomplished musicians came from Philadelphia.
There's a rich history.
Yes, it is.
Rich history.
You have Red Garland, the late Harold Corbin.
Right. Lee Morgan's birthday was
Lee
last week.
Morgan,
Right.
yes, of
Right.
course.
Exactly. So,
Benny Golds.
well, Pearl, you're part of that rich history too, and that's why we're interviewing you now for Philly Jazz Blog. Can you share with our audience maybe some of the clubs that you played at in Philadelphia during an earlier time in your career.
Well, I have to tell you about uh, this one. I did tell you that my parents weren't keen on me becoming a
Singer,
vocalist.
right?
They had a club called Little Club Harlem. It was at 55th and Haverford Avenue. And Nat King Cole was there.
Wow.
And I snuck up to this club. I
Right.
took my clothing and I put them down in my basement. And I was supposed to be going someplace to
Right.
study. And I went down in my basement. I put the clothes on. I had these high heels, couldn't walk in them. And went up to 55th Street to see Nat King Cole. And my brother's friend was the bouncer
Okay.
there. And I went in, and the guy said, "How old are you?" And I said to him, "Of course I'm 21. I don't know how my mother found out,
The neighborhood ears.
but Nat King Cole, I told him that I was a singer,
Right.
and I wanted to sing. And I wanted to sing When I Fall in Love.
Okay.
And he let me come up on the stage.
Oh my goodness.
And I was singing When I Fall in Love, when all of a sudden I peered out into the audience and I saw a lady standing in the doorway who looked like the Hulk. It was my mother.
Oh my goodness.
My mother marched up to the stage, politely escorted me down, and the rest of that was history.
Okay, gotcha. But you got a few bars in.
Yes, I got
with
a
Nat
few
King
bars
Cole.
in, and she told them, "Do you know how old she really is?" And of course they didn't, but
Right. It's a wonderful
it was
memory.
something. It was
It's
a
wonderful
memory that I will always cherish.
Right.
But I tried to explain to my parents that's what I really wanted to do. And then when I did become, after college, when I decided that I really wanted to perform and really be interested in it, I never gave up on that dream.
Okay.
And some of the clubs that I did perform, I performed at Johnny Drew's Rendezvous, which was a bistro North 52nd Street, 52nd and Thompson on Master.
I was thinking of the Rendezvous on Shelton Avenue.
Oh,
that
was
was
way after.
Oh, okay.
Way
All
after.
right.
We were talking 50s.
Okay.
And Emerson's, 15th and Fitzwater Bainbridge.
Okay.
There was the Brotherhood there. There was a club at 39th and Market Street, Club Zelmar.
Zelmar.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And some other.
Now, do you remember the name of a club that Dottie Smith had or was involved with? The Starlight or Stardust? Or
Well,
something?
she was. That was in later years. I think that was like in the 60s. It was
Okay.
Tommy Tompkins Starlight at
Okay.
Broad and Erie.
Oh, okay.
That's right, Germantown, Broad
Okay.
and Erie.
Okay.
But before that, Dottie Smith was with the Timpani Five, Louis
Okay.
Jordan.
Right.
And she later became the hostess at this club.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And she was involved in so much. She was a beautiful lady also.
Right. Let me ask you something, Pearl. Since this may be seen around the world on the internet, somebody watching this might want to know how to get some of your music. A copy of maybe your latest CD or anything like that. How would somebody watching this who wants to hear your music get a hold of some of your music?
Well, I recorded in 2003 my first CD entitled Pearls, Pearls.
It's a wonderful CD. I have a copy of it.
Thank you. Yes, I have a copy around here
Right.
somewhere. It was arranged by great pianist, arranger, composer, Mr. Aaron Graves.
Okay.
And
Another
I had,
local Philly legend.
yes,
Yes.
by way of North Carolina
Okay.
and Washington, D.C.
See. Well, we've adopted him fully now.
Yes, yes,
Because
we
he's been
have.
in Philly.
I had Gerald Twig Smith,
Okay.
guitarist,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
Twig and I have had a matrimony for over 40 years.
A musical
A
matrimony.
musical matrimony.
Okay.
I had Harry Butch Reed as my percussionist and drummer. Big Lee Smith. Lee and I go way back. We attended the same church. As I recall, Lee's mother was a gifted pianist,
Okay.
and I also studied under her. She was Ann Thompson
Okay.
Smith,
Gotcha.
and she got me to play for the Sunday school. I am a life member of the Penn Memorial Baptist Church.
Oh, okay.
And Mrs. Thompson, or Miss Thompson, and she married Leopold Smith, taught me music when I was at Penn Memorial at a young age, and I played for the Sunday school there.
Okay. All right.
But
we wanted to tell the audience
about how to get
yeah,
to the CD.
so they can
I
buy
was gonna
thousands
remember.
of these CDs
Yes,
of Pearls,
please,
Pearls.
please
Right.
do. I have them on sale at cdbaby.com.
Okay, all right.
You can also purchase them in the Sound of Market at
Okay.
11th and Ludlow,
Okay.
or you can purchase them through me, Tuck P Enterprises,
Okay.
8627 Gilbert Streets, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19150.
Very good. We want to give them the ability to respond.
Yes, they
and
can
purchase.
do that, and we can either mail it to you, or you can pick it up at
Right.
the
Right.
places that I've
Right.
given.
Right. Are there places that you'll be playing in the near future that we can mention that possibly would allow people to come physically see you perform?
Yes, earlier this year, I performed at the newest jazz club in Philadelphia, La Rose, in the 5500 block of Germantown Avenue in Germantown and Schoolhouse Lane.
Yes.
And I performed there. I anticipate on going back sometime between August and September,
Right.
hopefully.
Right.
I will be doing a poetic jazz jam at the Reformation Lutheran Church
Okay.
at Rugby Street and Vernon Road on July the 29th.
Okay, so that's very recent coming up.
Yes,
And gives people an
July the
opportunity to
29th
come join
from
you.
7 p.m. till 10. And it is free will offering.
Okay.
And I will be there with the original trio that I recorded with. With the exception of Houston Person, who was my saxophonist. The great Houston Person
Yeah.
was the saxophonist and guest star on my CD.
He was nearby recently at the
Yes, he
Chicken Bone
was
Beach.
at Chicken Bone Beach.
Right.
Yes. Houston and Etta Jones were a very, very dear friend of mine. And Etta always inspired me. We had been friends from day one, before she even recorded her famous Don't Go to Strangers. Etta didn't live to hear my CD, but I know with the vibes that I have spiritually, she would have been very pleased with
Good.
it. And Houston
Good.
helped out gratefully.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband, he has been most helpful to me. You know, many times you sometimes become discouraged, but he's always been there, you know, to give me that extra push. I was formerly married to a jazz pianist,
Okay.
and who is now deceased. But going on now with my Tucker Leon.
Leon Tucker Simmons.
Simmons,
Yes.
yes. Simmons. but it's a great guy, and I think that you always need that sounding board to help you out, that lifts you, you know.
Right.
And sometimes when I have to explode, I explode within myself, and then I use him as a sounding board. He doesn't like it, but
Well, at
they
least
say that all singers are temperamental.
temperamental.
Uh, we
Right.
have been called divas. The word diva, I'm not a diva. I'm a
Okay.
vocal stylist.
Gotcha.
I'm a vocal stylist. I'm not a diva. I don't toot my horn like that. If you prefer to describe me as a diva, oh yes, I can be diva-ish.
Divish.
But
Yeah.
I'm just a vocal
Vocal stylist
stylist that I want to share my music with others.
with the audience.
And I have some other things coming up. I had to take a hiatus
Right.
last year because of some health problems, but I'm ready back.
Good.
I'm ready to get back
Right.
into the thick of things, you know.
Well, we're glad to have you back, Pearl.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you for sharing those parts of your experience we were able to talk about today. We'll look forward to continuing to document the things you're doing, and hopefully those of you listening get out and go to CD Baby online, or if you're in Philadelphia, go to
The Sound of
the
Market.
Sound of Market
11.
Street and pick up some of the music, and to come out wherever you hear that Pearl's going to be there. Come out and support the music along with the other people you support, because she's a talented vocal stylist,
Hmm.
and it'll be worth every dime you pay to come see her.
I've traveled, and the greatest high point in my life, I had the honor of sharing the stage with the great Count Basie Orchestra.
Oh my goodness.
And that,
Well, tell the audience about that
yes,
experience.
yes.
We have time to hear a little about that. What city was it in?
Philadelphia.
Oh, here in Philly, okay.
Philadelphia, and New York, Connecticut,
Okay.
Greensboro.
Okay. The East Coast swing
Hey.
with Count Basie.
And in San Francisco, Irene Reed
Okay.
was with him, and Irene became ill. Danny Turner was playing with Count Basie
Okay.
and recommended me to Count and to Frank Foster,
Okay. Saxophones?
saxophonist, and through these concerted efforts,
Right.
I
Okay.
landed the job, and I was ecstatic.
Has anybody recorded that? Were there any of them recorded?
No,
I just wonder, you
I
know,
don't,
if that type of...
I don't remember any
But-
recordings.
okay.
I think a tape was made, but
Right.
I don't have
Okay.
anything
All right.
on press. Of
Sure.
course, you know, that was 33 and a
Yeah,
third.
right,
and-
exactly.
But
But there might be some hidden tape where
It-
somebody had it.
I
Wouldn't
certainly-
that be an heirloom to have?
but I was so excited about that recently. Uh, the Count Basie All Stars were at the Cape May Jazz Festival, and
Right.
I was also there, and I had an opportunity to reconnect with
Some of the members that are
yes,
still playing.
with Frank Foster and some of the members of the group,
Fantastic.
you know. So that's something that I will always remember, you know.
Right. And now it's documented on Philly Jazz Blog
Hello,
that we can
yes.
say we heard it directly from Pearl's mouth.
Hello.
There you go. Well, Miss Williams, thank you very much for joining
And
us.
I thank you for
And
having
it's been a
me.
distinct pleasure and honor to have this conversation with you. And I'm looking forward to another one in the future.
Thank you. And to the audience, jazz is a rare art form. Let's keep it alive. It's our own heritage. Let's keep it alive. I'd like to put a plug in here for the Council of Jazz Advocates, Ms. Thelma Anderson, who is the founder of it. She struggles so hard to keep it afloat, and she needs a little help from us. We want these things, so we have to, with our endeavors, continue to push it and support it.
Amen.
It is very important.
It
And
certainly
again,
is.
I thank you for
Well,
this
thank
interview.
you. And by the way, audience, Thelma Anderson will be in a jazz conversation with Philly Jazz Blog in the near future, so you'll get to hear it straight from Thelma's mouth about her rich history and how she's continued to try to keep the jazz alive too.